Wow, that picks it up really loud.
Oh, I should have waited for the crack.
Woohoo! Cheers.
Wunderbar.
Woo.
Ooh, that is grapefruit.
It's very grapefruity.
Yeah, that tastes like I'm eating a grapefruit.
There we go. You know what? We're a little crooked, but I can fix that in post.
Shit.
I can see how it's now. I can see.
Perfect. For those of you joining us for the visual, we're really, really sorry. The camera literally left. What kind of stand is it on? It's on like a. The legs of the stand are like curved. It's not even rigid. So like to fix it, you're hoping that it bends the way you want it to and doesn't correct itself. That's good. That's an important tool for something like a camera.
It looks like a 3-way dildo.
It looks like the things that came from space in like War of the Worlds.
They're space beads.
They have like tentacles.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's exactly like that. Only Tom Cruise can come and save this for us.
Yeah.
Come in, absorb
Someone's
it.
got to save this podcast.
Come and absorb these beads, Tom.
Absorb these
you know how to do it.
That's a good place for the music to start.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Should we play some music?
Nah, good. Oh,
Ready?
man.
Ready? And
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. My daddy worked hard for this. His daddy worked hard for this. 140 Texas would be more than me.
boom. All right.
And fade it.
Well, hello, bud.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, this is something.
Oh, yeah. In Auburn, New York.
So everybody's been waiting for when you guys gonna get together.
Uh-huh.
Here we are, and it came together. It was really well planned. Definitely wasn't last week trying to come up with a new date to do the podcast, and Jeff casually mentioning, "I'm gonna be in Auburn for like a day."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, we're really good at this friendship thing. We're really good at like." Yeah, you're gonna be in the place where I live for a day, and maybe we'll.
You're normally like 250 miles away, but for this day you're going to be 2 miles away, and you didn't think that would be something worth sharing.
Yeah.
The answer was no, I didn't.
What brings you here, by the way? I forgot. You probably told me.
I'm going up to the family's cabin in the Adirondacks with my brothers. So we're going to take care of some chores to winterize the camp. And and then I will head back to Jersey Sunday. So,
Is this a Caitlin trip?
Nope, just me.
Okay. I was wondering if you just left her in the car or something.
Yeah, she's out there. She'll figure it out. I cracked the window. Yeah, because grow up, people. You crack windows, save your babies. You can leave them in there for like hours on end. Just give them some food, water bowl, and crack a window.
Wait, it's gonna be. When was the last time all the three of the brothers were together doing something formative?
Great question. The last time it was just the three of us doing something, I honestly don't. I don't know. Like without any significant others, wives, so on. I really sincerely have no idea.
Dude, what a formative trip for you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. A lot of things happening on this random weekend.
Really catching up on some nostalgia.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in after this before I leave town. I'm gonna go to Wegmans. In 5 minutes, I'll see someone I haven't seen in 20 years, and I'm gonna hold a conversation with them too.
That's the way it works. Yeah.
I'm gonna make them really uncomfortable too. So I mean, but look at you. You get to do that.
Oh yeah, all the time.
A lot. Coming back to your hometown after years and years of being gone and seeing not the people that you're happy to see. You basically live the night before Thanksgiving. You live that over and over. Every shift, you're living a night before Thanksgiving, which means you're seeing a bunch of people that you haven't seen in a long time and have to make awkward acknowledgments with.
It's crazy, though, because there are different generations of townies, too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's fun. Because, I sent you a picture. last week. I'll add it in post here. I'm gonna have to do a lot of post work
Lots of
on this
post.
on this program. Our buddy Mark, we were out doing the darts thing, and he's just a savage at darts. It's dumb. I'm just like,
Yes.
I like going out with him because it makes me not have to be out alone while I drink and try to talk to strangers.
Uh-huh.
Not that it makes it any easier, but yeah, we were just out there. We're like, are we the only 40 or near 40-year-old people out here? Because it seemed like everybody was either 50s or older when we were out. I think we were out on Black Friday night or something like that. Or everybody's in their 20s, yeah. And I was like, wow, none of our people are here.
It's the lost demographic at the bar.
Yeah.
Is we are now at that age, right? Is you don't see like, and you don't use it as a term either.
Yeah.
You don't go like, oh, there's a bunch of 40-year-olds at the bar. That's not a term you use. It's either a bar's filled with 20-year-olds or at least 50-year-olds, maybe 60-year-olds.
Like empty nesters or people whose kids have gone, but yeah, single people in their 40s, late 30s, maybe we'll say.
So
the elder millennial crowd, maybe because they all have like toddlers and it's harder to go out.
you don't see the bar patrons over 70 a lot.
Okay.
I think that's the demographic that's really lost. Like, permitting, I see the 70s and 80s. I'd love to just go and, have some drinks, throw some darts even, if my appendages are all still functioning. And, like, I don't know. If I'm at that age, why am I not enjoying a beer at night out and about?
Maybe because you enjoy it at 3 p.m.
Okay, that's true. Commandeering the jukebox and playing all the oldies, like 90s rock and stuff, and like being that guy. They're like, why is this 80-year-old man playing? What is this stuff? And it's like blasting like metal and punk, but like coming from the 80-year-old man at the bar. Which by that time, I'm assuming the music, if movies have taught me anything, is just going to be a bunch of like beeps and boops. It's just going to be beep boop 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 beep boop boop boop. That's going to be music, and kids are going to be wearing like Tron type clothing.
You could probably, because it's such a novelty that you can probably get a free ride home. You just tell people you've been drinking and I'm going to drive. It's like you probably shouldn't have been driving anyway.
They're going to buy you the drinks.
Yeah, they buy you drinks. Yeah.
Like
I'm so fun.
I'm a talkative person, so I'm going to like literally like go up to people. I don't even sit at the bar. I'm not going to be like hey, he looks like a nice lonely old man. I'll go up and be like, yo, what's up, guys? You want to rage? Like, and I'm going to have people buy me some drinks, and then they're going to give me the ride home. They're going to give me money for the jukebox because by then it'll cost $90 to play a song, $120 if you want it to play next. But I'm going to, and then I'm just going to tell weird stories about dial-up internet and things like that. I'm really going to blow their fucking tits off.
Do I forego any hopes of family or love in my life to just have those moments from like 75 to 85?
You can.
If I can make it
Why
that
can't
long.
you do both?
Because it's not, I see. Like,
why can't you do both?
I don't know. I guess I think of it as like a old single person's game, or maybe a widower's game,
No, you find the person that's like, that sounds great. You should go do that.
Good. I'm going to stay
right.
here. Yeah.
Or, they can come along, but they're not going to hold you back from
yes.
doing that type of thing. That's the important thing, is you got to find someone that's like, yo, that sounds hilarious. Let me know how it goes. Like, some people just want the story. Some people might want to experience with you. Both are perfectly fine, but it shouldn't hold you back from doing that.
I do like the idea of the old couple, the old fun couple. That'd be pretty good. Like going out there and raging.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, imagine like shooting the shit. Just like you and your like best friend couple. You got all your inside jokes and you're talking. You're 80 years old, talking to a couple of young 40-year-olds who don't know shit.
Right.
They think they do. And they're just like, you're just fucking with them. Old jokes that nobody gets.
Yeah. Like, that's another thing is, you don't want to talk to like the early 20s. Because that's stereotypical. It sounds like it's set up for like a movie. But yeah, you want to be an 80-year-old talking to like that person in their early 40s. And being like, yeah, you think you know everything by now because you want to hold this. You want to be on this side of the conversation with a 20-year-old. But I'm running this rap shit. I'm talking as an 80-year-old to your 45-year-old ass, and you don't know shit about like what's going to happen in your 50s and 60s. Because there's probably stories to tell. But I don't even think if we heard an 80-year-old person talk about their 50s and 60s, I don't know that we would process that much.
No. I did have I did do like a vibe check with some 20-somethings.
Okay.
That night when I went out to the bar. It was like, because now I'm starting to like see similar people like when I go out. So there's like one girl that I've seen a couple times, and she's in her she's got to be in her 20s.
That's not
but
similar people. That's the
same
same
person. Yeah,
is
yeah,
what you meant.
true. But she seems cool. She's very sweet. But I started talking to her. Then this guy came up, like 6'4", stealthy as fuck. Just got a nude ink on his forearm.
Is it still wrapped?
It should. I mean, not really, but it's new enough to where he still had to show it, even though it was like 30 degrees out. He had a short sleeve shirt on, so he could like show it, or he had it pulled up. Then he just started talking about needles and like he's like, yeah, but it's not as big as the one on my chest because like my chest is so big. And he was having this conversation. I was like, this is insane. This is an insane conversation. And she was sort of entertaining it, but she was like, she was really sweet about it because then she would ask me, do you have any tattoos? And he'd be like, yeah, but it didn't even hurt that much. And he would start saying shit like that. Like,
Back to me.
Yeah. But then we started talking about like needles and like how much they hurt. And I was like, hey, you know what? What, like really hurts is like getting an allergy test because like you get a bunch of needles on your back to see what mosses you're allergic to. It's like meant to be. I was like, just silence, crickets, and I was just like,
"Oh, they didn't pick up that it was purposefully."
I was like, I thought to me, I was trying to be like really awkward and like I was trying to like end that his like intensity about the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But then she was like really sweet too. This girl, cause she was like, oh, what do you And she was like, and I'm allergic to this. And I was like, all right, at least that's a conversation. But the guy was just like nothing, just like in the space. So like clearly,
oh yeah, he couldn't battle. He couldn't battle out of it.
Like, dude, you're fucking up my Riz, dude. Get out of here. I'm trying to tell her about how big my chest is.
But like, imagine having to have that thought. Yeah. Man, this guy's really screwing up my relay to this girl about how big my chest is. You're like, yeah, man, and there's nothing wrong with that sentence.
Yeah, and it's because we were talking about the spirituality of like the pain of the needle. I was like, yeah, it's really spiritual. Getting an allergy test on your back. You get pricked like 100 times.
I don't know if I don't like spirituality. I think I just hate the term.
Yeah.
Because it's like the cop out when someone can't put together their words. Like it's just a spiritual experience. That doesn't say anything to me. Stop it. Use your words.
Tell me about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you got emotional? Because that's different. But like I don't like the concept of spiritual. And next time someone tells me it's a spiritual experience or spiritual, I'm gonna go no, more. Yeah. I need you.
What, like a ghost?
To use define. Right.
Is it an angel?
Right. We even call alcohol spirits. Why? I'm very confused. We're just throwing around the term. So can I call any drinking event? It was a spiritual event. Yeah. Meaning I enjoyed alcohol. I enjoyed liquor. It was a spiritual event.
There was another time I was talking to this girl, I think, at the same bar, different time, but like there was a couple of guys, also 20-somethings. I think she's more like 29, 30.
Okay.
So still younger than me, obviously. Barely. We're same generation. We're still all millennials.
Tell yourself.
But the guy's like, hey, didn't I see you here before? Like, yeah, what's your name again? I was like, what is, like, I can't even believe I was ever 20-something and would talk to people, like, with just the lamest openers. And then he was like, yeah, you're like, what, 24, 25? She's like, I'm like 29. He's like, oh, yeah, but you seem like you're 24 or 25.
That's not even
a compliment. No, it's not. I think for women, it's like...
That's actually rude.
Like, that's the opposite of usually what you say, because usually skeezy guys are like, oh, you're 18, you seem like you're 22. Though.
Right. That's also not okay.
Yeah, no.
Why don't you just not try to make age the conversation?
Don't judge
because
them.
that's a finite thing. You can't converse about someone's age, especially if you're not creative, which clearly you're not because that's how you started. But yeah, it's like like, oh yeah, you're 29. You have a birthday in May. You seem like you had a birthday in March. Like
then just the overcorrection of each thing. It's like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that, or it's like,
oh
what did you do? What are you even? You're not even saying anything with meaning. Like it's just these like empty sentences, and I'm like, fuck.
You
that's
drive
what it
a
used
blue
to be
car.
like. Yeah.
You look like someone that might kind of drive a blue car. What?
And I forgot about the emptiness of like the 20-something bar conversation that you just have that doesn't mean anything. And I don't know if I can do it, man. I mean, I can't. Well, I know I can't, but it's like...
You know what the problem is it's... If you want to have... Most bar conversations in your 20s, I think, with meeting someone of the opposite gender, is most of the time it's going to be stupid and awkward. Because you're not actually conversing. My problem is that in my current age... mean, even in more so, I in my 20s, even a little bit, but I legitimately just want to have a fun or interesting conversation. And I don't think people are going to the bar equipped with that same mindset. So you do that in the idea that like, you're like, oh man, I want to use my humor, but you want to use your humor, not humor that people are ready to comprehend at the bar, because people at the bar want way easier humor to process. They don't want the thoughtful humor or complex humor.
So thoughtful.
Yeah, so like it's tough. But certainly being there with a guy who's like trying to aggressively, and by aggressive I mean just like putting 110% into meeting and striking up a conversation with the girl, because he's been told all you gotta do is strike up a conversation.
But then willing to do it exactly the same way to the girl next to her 2 minutes later.
Correct.
With the exact same
Correct.
energy. That's a bit. I mean, that is a hell of an energy, man. Hey, I went 110% on this.
I'm
15
playing
minutes.
the percentages.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
All right. Here, your best friend. Here, I'm gonna do the same
If
thing.
I hit on 20 girls, there's gotta be a chance that one's gonna want to go home with me.
No. That's weird, because it's weird, because like, how old are you though? It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's like,
Really?
Yeah.
See, now I would expect that from her.
Yeah. Oh my god. Because now it's weird. I don't know. I'm not actively trying to like find a girlfriend or a spouse in the bar, but I would say now lately I've been keeping myself open, but I can't not. The thing is, I just can't not be myself. It's like I can't. I gotta be me. And sometimes that means
They say keep it 100.
Doing really awkward, stupid shit because I don't know how else to be. But that's more of like, I don't know. Is that more machine gunning in a way of like trying to like just hit connect with something, or is that more like sniping? Like, I feel like what I'm doing is sniping in a way where it's like I'm looking to hit one shot. It doesn't have to be like if you say the thing and somebody like you just get that energy back, that one energy from somebody who gets it or matches it, and you're like, okay. Not even necessarily for like a girlfriend thing, but even to like as a friend thing. Like, so if I see somebody out again, I will want to talk to that person again or hang out again. Yeah.
Right. Take the guesswork out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you passed the vibe check, my vibe check. I'm not saying it's the right vibe check, but it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, you are capable of having the friend of the opposite sex. Like a single guy and meeting someone who that you're like, all right, well, vibe with, right, someone who gets the humor, and then go from there and see if it turns into something else. But it's gonna be tough, man. It's tough to find that humor. That humor is not everywhere, and it always interests me because when people don't get all facets of comedy, I go, well, what does your brain do with that space? And I'm not trying to be insulting, but like, I like all sorts of comedy. There's 95% of comedy I can enjoy. So the stuff that's very run-of-the-mill, embraced by all, like people at the catch-all comedy, I like some of that stuff. I'm not above that. But I also like really obscure, dark, dry, some British stuff. Like, I like all different genres of comedy. And when people don't like that, I'm like, do you understand it's supposed to be funny and don't like that type of comedy? Or do you think that you don't understand why it's funny? Like, it blows my mind. Like, when people don't embrace all sorts of comedy. Like, it's kind of like a music thing. Comedy is not much different than music, where it's like there are just all sorts of comedy. And a lot of people just are like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm like, I don't understand.
I'm okay. I mean, did I tell you that? Here's another bar story. I might have told my buddy Brett, etc. But I was out with another, like, just like talking to it was like a group of girls that were playing a game at a bar where you do put the thing up on your head and you guess, you give them the clues, and they were playing that. So I was just like, I'm gonna go play that. I had a few drinks. I'm gonna go just jump in on that game uninvited, and it was fun. And I was like,
and it worked.
Yeah, and it did until like a couple of them went to the bathroom or something, and I was left with one of the girls who was like really quiet, and we were talking, and I was asking her questions, but she was like nothing, giving me nothing. And not even like, I wasn't hitting on her or anything. I was just like, where do you work? And then she just barely would respond. I was just an asshole after, because I was just like, we don't have to talk. I was trying to like, because like, you only have so much to live, you know? It's like, our life on this planet's very limited. We should be able to talk to strangers and have a good time with it. And I'm trying very hard, and this is not working. But I just wanted to talk to you as a person, so I'm going to go over here now because it's not working. It was like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically that, where it's like, why go to a place or a bar and like...
Exactly.
And just sit there.
If you are going to be bothered by every single person outside of your group, why are you at this place? Why go to a public place to consume?
And I get it. It's not. I mean, you know what? Maybe it was me. Maybe I was an asshole the whole time. I don't know. That could have been true. Maybe she didn't like my brand of humor or anything. But I was like asking very general, open-ended questions about her life.
Easy answer.
Just to keep the conversation going so that we could get through the awkwardness of her friends being gone.
So did you bail before the friends came back?
I did, yeah.
Did you stay at the bar and they stayed at the bar?
I don't know. I left.
You left the bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I saw...
I wish you had stayed, but removed yourself by like 5 seats down the bar. And so like they came back and they're like, why is heads up guy like 5 seats away? Like,
I'm sure.
And then they ask her like, what'd you do to him? Or what did he do to you?
And then I saw him again. I think a night Mark and I went out to play darts. I saw them again. And so this time I think the girl and one of her friends was playing like that dragon game, you have to pump money into at the bar. Do you ever see that? What's that game called? The Tower Dragon? You look at me like you've played it.
What in the hell are you
Oh, you don't know about
this?
Okay, is this just it's like an arcade game that's at like a lot of bars, but you have to actually pay money into it. But you can like win shit, I think, from it. It's sort of like gambling. But it's like dragons from the top down, and you can get addicted to it. It's crazy.
What is it?
I forgot what it's called.
But what you didn't even describe.
It's an arcade game. It's just a video game thing that just has dragons.
Stop just saying dragons. All you've said, you are on a podcast.
If some
people are only listening to audio, and all you've said so far, it's like a game. Like dragons. There's dragons. You can win money. There's dragons. Yeah, there's dragons.
But it's like, it's top down, and there's like multiple dragons flying across the screen, and I think you either want to like collect gems or burn shit down or a combination of those things, then you get points from it. I don't know, but it's clearly like one of those games you can never fully win. It just keeps you going.
Okay.
So they were playing that, but then I was talking to like the friend I was originally talking to that night, and for a little while, and then when I left, I went up to that friend, the quiet friend again, just as like, oh, give this a go again. It's like, oh, you guys been crushing this game all night, huh? Yeah. All right, well, see you later. I was like, all right.
Oh, so that wasn't a one-time thing.
Yeah, I was like, all right. I was like, cool. But I don't know. And I'm an acquired taste or completely distasteful. Either way, but I get it. Nobody's for everybody. And I mean, I try to like slowly work people into who I am. And I don't know, because I'm making it sound like I'm very special and I'm so unique that I'm tough to take. But I'm just more like, I say stupid shit and do stupid things, usually the worst times. And it sucks. I hate it. Like it's a gift.
But it's not stupid. Like it's just not conventional. Like, and that's what's annoying. Is that I wonder if people want to have exclusivity. Are they bland or do they want to not be receptive to stuff? Does it make people feel special, you think, to not be receptive to other people?
It could be. I mean,
that's fucking dumb. Like, and that's my thing is like, if I'm not entertained by someone or like don't enjoy being around someone, I don't know how to put this, but it's like, it's probably on you. Because like, I like all different types of people. Like I like different type. I like serious people. I like fun people. I like, I have friends that are flighty. I have friends that do, fucking hopped up on drugs half the times. I have friends that are stone cold sober, straight edge. Like that stuff, I don't care. Like, are you just an interesting or good you can be an interesting person, but kind of a son of a bitch. You can be not that interesting of a person, but a great person, like a great friend or a good talker or something. Like, so many qualifying things. So when people like are just not receptive to any stranger, it's just like, that sucks. That's a dumb way to live.
I guess it's weird to put yourself out there in a public place too. I mean, but I've also like,
Why is that weird?
I've definitely gone out for a drink or two and not talked to people for a little while. Like I've definitely gone out. Actually, this last week I went to go get a beer on my day off at Prison City, and I just did Wordle and I did some crosswords.
That's fine.
And I was like, but I also am not
But you weren't
excluding
blocking
myself.
people
That's
out.
true. I don't necessarily.
If someone came
instigate-
up and started talking
Yeah.
to you, would you
Okay.
shun them? No.
No, I don't.
You'd be like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You'd actually get jazzed.
Yeah.
Not saying like a girl or anyone. It's just like, yo, a stranger came up to me. You'd capitalize on that shit.
No, because there was a guy like around our age. He was like, "Hey, you doing the crossword?" And I was like, "Yes, I am, good sir."
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. You're like, oh my god, endorphins. Let's go.
Well, it's like, because I also didn't want to be like pretentious about it. It's just like I really like doing these. I don't know, like I've really gotten into them. It's like one of my favorite things to do. If I'm because there was like a hockey game on, and I was just doing the crossword, half paying attention to
Right.
each. Then I would like talk to the bartender. His name's Max. He comes into Wegmans a lot. And I was just there to like for leisure time. Like however it was, that was my leisure
Right.
time. Yeah. And then
I'm powering down.
yes. Then he brought it up, and then it turns out he's into Sudoku. And then we started talking about like I don't even remember, like Lord of the Rings or some kind of nerd shit. Just got really into it. And he . ordered another beer, so I was like, oh, let's do,
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like,
You know
this is
what?
awesome. Yeah.
I will have another kid. That sounds like a fucking great day.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like a great experience.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. So yeah, I do keep myself open, but and it takes also, I mean, there's still that part of me that is an awkward fucker. That's like, I need to find my entry point in. Like, I love like hopping into a conversation that I can contribute to from the, like, where there's a gap, where there's something like, especially if it can be like something silly or whatever. And like, like, oh, my dog's like, oh, it's so weird. Like, you just sitting on the couch watching TV the other day. And then I can be like, they're talking like, oh my God, one time I talked to my dog, like he was my roommate, because he was my roommate for a little bit, but it's so funny how they are all of a sudden a person in your life, and you forget, and you just talk to them and say things like, hey, what'd you do today? Like, it's not like, even though it's your dog and you forget that it is, because that's your life now. And then they're like, I know, I totally do that. And then, whatever way you can try to get into it, but I feel like I almost have to get to know somebody by listening to them talk for like half an hour before I like, because that's the risk of like, do I just jump in with my first thought, what do you call it, intrusive thought? That's a hot meme these days.
It's
do I let the intrusive thoughts win?
It's tough because I've been accused of this is that I adapt to other people because I have many interests and I can talk, so I adapt to how they are. And people sometimes say like, well, doesn't that come off fake? I'm like, I'm not
manipulation.
I'm not, or manipulation. I'm like, no, it's adapting. I'm not gonna throw sports at someone who doesn't watch sports. That's stupid. I like other things, so tell me what you like, and I can adjust and focus like that. And I think that same goes for humor and everything like that. So it's like you're right though. I want to observe someone, and then when I come in, I'll know how to come in. But it's not because you're being fake. You're just adjusting, especially for people off the bat who you're trying to get to know. Build a foundation before you try doing everything else. So what's wrong with that?
You just don't want to put your weird out right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like stuff that I'm wildly into, like games or gaming or something like that, I would be hesitant to be like, unless I heard somebody being like if somebody was like, oh my God, I just finally, how I like got that Switch like a couple months ago? Like I bought that new Mario game and it's so fun. I haven't played video games in so long. Then I'd be like, milady. Nah, I mean, like, yeah. I would go full nice guy. No, I'd be like, that game is so fun, isn't it? Like, I played games for a while, but it's great. I love that different people from different walks of life can have the same kind of experience with something that, like, brings us together. And then you can have a conversation about that. But maybe that girl was just like, this dude is not for me, and I don't want him in my space. And that's fair. But also, I've had people tell me that. And I appreciate that.
It makes
it way easier. Yeah, it's like, hey, I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna just drink this drink and be by myself. I'd be like,
respect.
I get that.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I understand that.
And you're like, and even if it is personal, you don't take it personal. Yeah. Like you're just kind of like, okay, like appreciate that. And right, and that's what's stupid is it's like, you know what? like, what's her thought process? Like, well, I don't want to be mean, so I'll just fucking give short answers and look away from them. No, that's fucking mean. Like, that's what mean looks like. Being like, hey, just heads up, I'm just don't feel like talking to anyone, so I'm just gonna sit here. Like, I'd almost like, I'd almost just be like, okay, well then I am not the person to be around. Like, so yeah, people are weird. Like, also, like, you don't have to be bluntly. It's still kind to tell a stranger that you don't feel like talking to them. That's still kind. That's the kindness that you need to do, as opposed to being like, I'll politely just fucking ignore you. Like, no, that's not polite. That's...
I mean, because I'm sure it's happened to me or somebody's talking to me at a bar, but I'll engage in a conversation for like a few minutes at least. Like, I feel like it's easier to, I'm going to go hard on the engagement, but for like 3 minutes and then bail out versus
also
like
true.
The total ignoring or like sort of half-assing it where it's confusing, where it's like, then just, you got to find a way to end that conversation.
You don't.
What do
you
you
don't
mean?
need to. Well, you need to be willing to be mobile. You have to be mobile.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
In a bar.
Get around. Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
you have to be willing to be mobile, and good news, you can stop literally any fucking point during the conversation. You just go, all right, listen, I'm gonna go. Have a great night.
Yeah.
And just don't even really give them more than a second to respond. You pick up your drink, you walk away.
Or you do go to the bathroom and then come back and just talk to somebody else right away. That's another one.
I think bailing out on a bathroom break for no need is why. You're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up. They're gonna hunt you down, and maybe that person's now offended that they're like, why'd they come back and start talking to that person? We weren't done. I thought he was just going on a bathroom break. But
I mean, if you're trying to be nice, like if you think you're being nice about not continuing the conversation, the bathroom's an easy out, I guess.
No, it's not. Why aren't you coming back? What, did you pee out your interest in me? Like, no, that's not how science works. Like, no. If someone told me I'm going to go to the bathroom, they leave after we've been talking for 3 minutes. I see them exit the bathroom and they stop and start talking to someone else, certainly that they didn't come with or something. I'd be like, what the fuck did I do?
Hey, I did a lot of thinking in there. I just don't
right. You know what? This isn't going to work.
Oh, well, you know what I did? So, rewind to the conversation with Tattoo Dude and the girl who was being sweet.
Sure.
Who else? You know, I'm sure I'll see her more.
Yeah.
So when I was hanging out with Mark, that's why. So it was like I had come back from the bathroom, and Mark was there at the bar by himself. So I was in this conversation. But then I told her. I mean, not him. I told her, I was like, hey, it's good to see you. I'm hanging out with my old friend here, so I'm gonna go do that. But I'm sure I'll see you again. Just to like leave it like
that's good.
Yeah, I was
that's
like,
solid.
Yeah,
that's a solid exit.
Yeah.
She feels good.
Yeah.
You feel good because you addressed it, and
like,
it's concluded.
Okay. She was like, okay, and I was like, I don't want to just like dish you
well,
or whatever. And I was like,
you didn't keep going, did you?
No, what, talking?
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna say I didn't want you to be like. See, yeah, I didn't want to ditch you.
Yeah, see,
so like I wanted to be polite and like because the further you go on, the more she's like. God, I hope I don't bump into you again. Like,
there's nothing like over-explaining yourself.
Oh, on a personal level,
or in text, or like a DM,
is a fucking nightmare. You're literally making it worse.
I know, like, I'm trying to think of something specific, but I'm just like, be like, hey, I saw you tonight. Hey, I was the guy. Do you ever want to go out sometime? No, it's all right. Okay, because when I was there, I thought that like, because the way that like, when you set your you gave me your coat, and then like you took my hat, and I was like, and then you do one of those like you do a whole debrief on what just happened.
In the further back of your brain, you're going, why are you doing this? Stop! This isn't ever going to work.
That's 22-year-old Matt right there for sure. That sucks. I hate that.
Yeah, like I think it's because there was hyper investment in everything, and I have a hard time thinking that way these days. Like I don't hyper invest, so like it helps in a lot of situations, but it also doesn't help in a lot of situations. Like I don't know, like work, it can go back and forth too, where people are happy that you're just like, I'm just gonna get to the point, and then I'm gonna turn around, like, and then I'm gonna be done with it. And some people think like you're being abrupt if you don't yammer on. But I try to use my words a little bit more succinctly because I do have a tendency to ramble as well, and rambling sucks.
Yeah. Same. So we just spent the first 30 minutes of this podcast doing that.
Well, no, I mean every fucking episode
Yeah,
is
it
rambling. It's tangential bullshit. I don't even know what.
I was just
we
thinking,
started
like,
with.
somebody's listening to this and be like, "You guys are both fucking assholes. You guys have
Right.
no."
That's true.
position."
We are really just assessing how everyone else around us
I know.
really should be acting because we're crushing it.
We're giving you a blueprint for how to deal with us.
How to deal with
And it's
us
not easy.
and how you should be as a human in
Yeah,
general.
it's really difficult.
So-
We're sorry. We're sorry to make things so hard for you. It's really hard.
I'm sorry, world. We're sorry that we're difficult.
It's our fault. We get it. But that's why we're friends now, you know?
Yeah.
If we don't have these conversations with each other, then it sits in our heads and
That's
we're like,
true.
Yeah.
This has clearly been an outlet not to get to know each other again, but to really to be like, hey, I have some dumb thoughts
Yeah.
and I don't know where it's appropriate to share them. I'm going to share them on the podcast.
Here's this fucked up thing that I did, and I'm gonna tell you why it's okay, and you're just gonna listen to me. You're just gonna buy into
true.
it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think? All right, so we're in my apartment, obviously. If you guys have seen it, we're on the couch. It doesn't get a lot of action, I'll say that. I don't really indulge in the couch too much. It came with the place, so I'm appreciative of it. I do a lot of my movie watching in bed, but I also sit, like when if I watch them, I sit in the nice office chair because it reclines. I just like being up there. I usually just get on the couch if I'm tired or need a nap, which is weird, I know. But here we
What
are.
a revolutionary.
But you came here. You're visiting.
Yep.
What's your first impressions of my pad?
Yeah.
Of my single guy 40-year-old pad.
My best. Boy,
Is it exactly what you thought?
This is an awkward thing to say, but the big thing that I noticed was the Nintendo 64 box.
Yeah.
So Matt's got his OG Nintendo 64 box here, and it jumped right out at me. And more so than even seeing an N64, seeing the box of a Nintendo 64 like made
Christmas?
me feel more like a child than seeing the actual system. It's that kid from that video.
Yeah.
But it is appropriately dusty.
It says the Fun Machine on here. I never knew it said that. The Fun Machine.
How
was that
lame.
Was that the advertising for it?
Wait, there's steps on the front. Why is there numbers? What is this? Up.
Oh,
Yeah.
multi-purpose.
Oh no,
For the
not even
controller.
that, not even that serious. Oh, the controller gets its own numbers. The front has numbers.
Plug and play, yeah. So I still have this in the original box. I bought it. It must have been a year and a half after the original came out. Because Jeff had the original. I remember. We used to go to your house. Many Nintendo 64 controllers were destroyed on your walls. It's nothing like that.
I mean, I was an ill-tempered child when it came to video games, and I broke many controllers. Cracked them. Would get mad and like sometimes I'd bite a controller because I just had so much rage in me. But yeah, I mean, that was my first big purchase as like anything is I had a paper route that paid dick, and when Nintendo came out, I told my parents, I'm like, I don't want to wait till Christmas because I don't trust that you'll get it. I don't know if I use those exact words, but that was my thought process. And I'm like, I have money in my savings. I want to go out and purchase for $300 a Nintendo 64. And they did not push back. They're like, if that's what you want to do, it's kind of like you have the green light. That is a concept worthy of saving to reward yourself with the process of saving. So for those of you youngins that don't understand how commerce used to work, is okay, let's ring up any toy store in the area and see if they have a list, because toy stores and places used to have lists of, hey, can I get on your reservation list of like something's coming out.
Yeah, KB Toys.
Yeah, do you keep
Toys R Us
brand names? Sears,
Kmart,
Sears, JCPenney.
Remember Kmart?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So you'd get on the list if they had lists. And then, though, that was the idea that when shipments came in, they would get X amount of consoles, and then call people on their list. But you don't trust the list. You can't. You have to hope you can get on every list, but you still got to do the legwork. So I remember it was literally a Saturday morning. I want to say it was in October of 96. I think the system came out in August. It was not a holiday release. Back before they would just fucking release stuff when it was ready to be released. So it had been out for a few weeks. And it was a Saturday morning, and I called KB Toys in the mall, in the Finger Lakes Mall. And I'm like, hey, just calling, seeing, do you have any Nintendo 64s? Yes. I go, oh my God. Okay. They're like, we have 3 of them. I go, can you hold one? I will come down now. They're like, and the guy's like, I'll hold it for like 15, 20 minutes. And these people would hold a hot item because a kid called and said, can you just hold this for me?
I have $350 in ones and change.
Right. Yeah. So the guy's like, all right. So I gave him my name. I'm like, I remember telling my parents and being like, someone needs to bring me the mall. They have an N64. I need to go right now. Like, I don't care what you're doing in your adult life, but I am a 13-year-old child and I have a fucking purchase to make. So we get down there. I go to the counter. I went to the shelf first to see if for any reason they would have it on shelf. It's a hot ticket item. It was behind the counter and propped up at KB. And he's like, yep. And I saw the little yellow sticker on it with my name. And he pulls it down. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, I am getting this. I think I did have a comical setup of the money, but I think my parents
made change for you. Or
did
whatever.
the right thing and like up changed it.
Yeah.
So that it was at least like 20s or something. And I paid in straight cash, homie, Randy Moss style. Yeah. And bought it myself. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know any of my friends that, like, none of my friends have this gaming system. And now I have it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I mean, I was up until at least that holiday season, I was king of the castle. I think Jay Solomon got one a couple weeks after I did. But, whoo boy, like, I felt top of the world. And again, I loved the fact that it was like, no, I can have friends come over and we can play Wave Race because I got Wave Race 64.
That was it was so dumb because it's like it didn't matter what games came out first because Wave Race was like the coolest shit that had come out, and it was just stupid like jet ski game where you'd like go over shit, and it's like you probably wouldn't really play it today except for nostalgia because it wasn't a great game, but it was a fucking awesome game on the Nintendo 64.
Yep. That style of graphics and everything, because Mario was a one-player, which was a really big letdown. There was no
Wave Race.
There's no functionality of Mario 64 as being a two-player game, which is kind of hilarious.
Even though it's a fantastic game.
Oh, it's top 5 N64 game of all time, oddly enough. But it was really weird because we're like, hold on. So you're going to release this brand new game, and you're going to snatch Luigi away from the people?
And it had
Luigi
four controller ports on it, too.
Yeah, Luigi was nowhere to be found. N64 brags about 4 controllers being able to be used, but their flagship game is one player and one player only. So, which probably was a marketing thing that they're like, oh, you have kids that you'd like? Looks like you'll have to buy an additional game, a multiplayer game. But
well, that's why GoldenEye blew everything up. That was the one. But...
So, I'm going to make you make a decision. GoldenEye or Mario Kart 64?
Now or then?
What is the better game?
Mario Kart 64.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
GoldenEye was good. It was great.
Like
the idea of it.
Endless hours on GoldenEye.
Multiple slumber parties.
Yep.
But Mario Kart 64 still holds up. The tracks are awesome. Just the whole idea of it, the turbo boost and all that stuff, the way it functioned was awesome. I know I wasn't very good at it. We used to play a lot of that, actually. I remember a lot of Choco Mountain or whatever. Remember a lot of that.
The thing with Mario Kart 2 is you could play with people that had never played before. You can't do that with GoldenEye. It doesn't have the same fun value, but people can entertain themselves picking up Mario Kart, and they can pick it up within 10 minutes. GoldenEye, you can't. Also, GoldenEye sparked a lot of rage because you could be a dick at GoldenEye, just like any shooter game. It's basically when you found out which friends of yours were real pieces of shit.
Screen cheating.
Yeah, like screen
or
cheating.
Targeted you.
Yeah, and just kind of targeted you and stuff, and it's just. You couldn't do that with Mario Kart. Mario Kart didn't cause arguments. It caused despair because you're like, oh no, I got blue shell. This is bullshit. Yeah. But GoldenEye would literally be like, I don't want to play GoldenEye with you anymore.
Yeah, because Mario Kart, you can also be mad at the computer. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could definitely have player versus player, some PvP arguments, but it's ultimately the computer fucking you over, whereas GoldenEye's like, you guys can't 3-on-1 me. Oh, this is dumb. Just because I won the last 2 games, now you're just going to 3-on-1 me. It's like that kind of energy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, N64 was probably it's the gaming system of our childhood. It came out when we were 13, so like that is definitive to us growing up. Like we obviously, Sega, Super, even to an extent regular Nintendo, but when I think of like growing up and playing video games, especially playing video games with friends, it's all N64 stuff.
Yeah, I used my lawn mowing money. Like that was like, yeah, it's great because you had the paper route, which I remember I used to bike with you on that. I think after school sometimes.
Sucked.
And I mowed lawns for my N64.
I forgot that. Yeah. I mean, Matt took his mowing and in full.
I had a pretty legit mowing business. I had like 5 or 6 clients.
Right, you had clients.
Yeah.
Like regulars.
Yeah.
And I remember they were a little scattered.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, one was like over by you, my Aunt Lena. She paid me $30 though to do her lawn.
Damn.
But then like my one grandma would pay me $5. But then I would combo that with the neighbor across the street who paid me $10, so that was like a $15 job for like an hour. Mm-hmm. Then my neighbor paid me $5, and then once in a while I'd catch another one here or there for like, small, not a lot. But just enough, over the course of like a summer.
Right.
Make just enough.
That kept you afloat, damn it.
And I think I remember making a deal with my younger sister, Emily.
Did you outsource?
Did
you have an
I had
employee?
her, basically. I did like the classic older brother thing of like, hey, listen, this Nintendo 64 is $200. I have $140, so I need $60. If you give me $60, I'll let you put the Super Nintendo in your room. And then you can use the Nintendo 64 whenever you want, which was clearly a lie. He's like, didn't work. But because
it was in your room, wasn't it?
Probably,
yeah.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't think it was in the family room.
Yeah, it must have, yeah, of course. But then she had the SNES, which she loved, and actually still has it to this day. She still has, like, the SNES. She still has my Game Boy with the case and, like, a lot of all the games. And that's awesome, yeah. I love it.
That's rad.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool.
I wish I knew where my Sega Game Gear was.
Yeah. But she's kept, like, all that stuff, which is awesome. Because I don't know if I guess I would. I kept the 64, but it's because I had the original box. People have offered me, like, a lot of money for it in the box. I think I could, like, get something decent on it. Because it still works, too. I don't know if I have it. It must be in the box. I could bust it out. I mean, I gotta do a little blowing on it. Whatever, probably a little cleaning. But it works. It functions.
Yeah, I see a lot of games over there too.
Yeah.
So you got it amped up. I mean,
do you? I was just thinking about your paper route.
Yeah.
So, you get back to Auburn maybe once a year, maybe every couple of years.
Yeah.
I guess it's not far enough or long enough in between where you wouldn't like know it enough. I guess like. So I was wondering, do you ever like drive by your old paper route just for the physical nostalgia of like seeing it? Or anything like that?
It's tough. Not really, because it's not in any travel path of mine, but also, too, is like, remember, the one, I had 2 roads, and one was a dead end. Yep. So there's really no logical reason to go down that road. But yeah, I think my house, I mean, I should. The houses, my workload, we'll say, ranged usually in like, from like 30 up to like, max I think was like 37, 38 because customers would drop in and off. But yeah, I mean, what a ridiculous concept too, because unlike a lot of kids, like I didn't live like directly on my paper route or anything. I had to take the closest one, and we didn't live in the city, so it's not like everything was close. So I did bike about a mile to the route, probably just over a mile to get down there. And people were so demanding for a job that paid such shit. Like, people were like, oh, can you open up my screen door and put it in between these? Fuck off. Like,
it should have been literal paperboy video game shit.
Yeah, like, exactly. I should be able to huck it on your lawn but they would the printout would have like requests. Like when I got the papers delivered to my house, the printout would have like special requests and stuff, and I'm like, motherfucker! I'm like, this better pay off, and it never did. Like they would give me I'd have to collect them, and I had to collect the money.
That's the craziest part.
What a concept! Yeah. I had to pay the.
You were the
citizen.
bill collector, yeah.
I had a bill from the citizen for every paper, and then I had to collect the money from the people to pay myself.
You had to have financial confrontations with people.
Yeah,
as a 11-year-old,
hey, you didn't
15-year-old.
leave. Yeah, you didn't leave the envelope of money for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that ever got aggressive where I like started holding papers from people because then if I wanted to make a decision like that, the newspaper would be like, well, you can't do that. It's like, well, then why are you having me fucking accounts receivable, dick? Like, you guys should like that. Yeah, that was a scam. I'm glad if I think the Citizen no longer is a physical paper.
Oh, it is, but they don't do it every day.
Good, because they fucking deserve it. If the Citizen's crumbling, you fucking deserve it, Citizen. You know what? You're a local slave driving sack of shit. You needed a better system. Print is dead. And I'm not paying $2 for your auburnpub.com. So fuck right off.
Me neither. I never saw.
Now, there's an article on here. Guess what? I'll find someone else that talks about it for free. Fuck off.
Every time that Cayuga blotter, whatever Cayuga County, the police blotter comes up, I'm like, I really want to see it. So sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't.
Yep.
If it doesn't, I'm like, oh well, another time.
Grow up and use ads.
I will not pay $2.
Your website's so crappy that you can't even get ad support. Do better.
And it's like the ads they have on there are the ones that are clearly for seniors that they would click on it. Like, you'll never believe what Donny Osmond.
Oh, I know.
What happened to his abs after he ate this? And it's like,
right,
what?
I
I'm
wouldn't
not gonna
know.
click on that.
Right, make me do like what other places do. Like maybe like you're not the Wall Street Journal. Don't try charging people. Stop it. Knock it off.
Well, I did make that drive on your paper route. That was like one of the first few. Once in a while, I'll still do it. I know in my first year here, I used to like make drives like that, like go out, like to your neck of the woods, just see it, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how much more I have left to explore here. I guess not that. I still want to go like my old Nelson Street house that you knew, like so where I grew up until like 14. I drove by it the other night because it's Christmas time, and I'm like, ooh, they probably have lights up so I can see in there a little better. And I could.
That's creepy, but
and it gave me a little bit of like, ooh, a little bit of chills, like seeing inside there, like seeing the stairs and like.
Would you ever, in good conscience, go up and be like, I'm going to shoot my shot and go, hey, I used to live here. Can I take a look around?
I don't think I could. I do hope, my greatest hope when I drove by and I thought it was like, I hope somebody sells this soon. I want it to go for like open house or like go for sale.
Oh,
so I can just walk through,
Oh, do that. Go in, show up wearing like a tuxedo and be like, I am a very wealthy man. I was wondering if you'd ever be willing to consider selling me this home, and then get them to show you the house and then give them like a card that isn't your name or anything, and then be like, we'll be in touch, and then never come back. Because then they'll have a story of being like, remember when that rich guy showed up with his monocle?
Why does he want to buy this?
And why does he want to buy this house on Nelson? And you were like, sneaky sneakies. I was never the rich man.
I just wonder what it would do for. I mean, because you still visit your childhood home.
Yes,
your parents still live there.
Correct. I moved there when I was 4.
And in a way, like so, where my parents live now, I went to high school there, lived there. It's all still like because there was a bathroom downstairs. So when I was over there for Thanksgiving, I was like, you can use the bathroom upstairs. I was like, I know, but I just like.
There's not a bathroom downstairs.
It's a toilet.
It is a basement with a toilet and a comically out of place vanity.
Yeah, it is. It's
hilarious.
There's no cover.
It was the greatest thing because it was also the computer room, the mechanical room, and the storage room. Yeah. It was the most versatile room.
Yeah, with a toilet in there.
Yep. But it worked for.
I still go down there because I'm like, I don't know. There's something about the smell. I still get nostalgia for stuff. I try to.
There's something about the smell. Yeah. You just said that. I like to use this bathroom. There's something about the smell.
Yeah. Just smells like
I like pooping and looking at like a hot water heater.
Smells like I haven't cleaned it in 30 years.
But it served its purpose because I liked the concept that we were down in your like basement room, didn't have to disturb anything to go to like the bathroom or anything like that. Like we had a nice setup down there that we didn't have to disrupt. So it was similar to like my house where we could be downstairs in the basement, not disrupt anything upstairs, have the fridge downstairs, have the bathroom downstairs. So literally, there was no reason for us to need to go upstairs.
Yeah, your spot, because you even had like the door out the basement to go to the backyard. You need to catch a breather and some root beer outside. If we needed to go smoke pretend cigarettes when it was in the winter, we could go do that.
Yeah.
Let the dog out.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are good times. So I think I gotta circle back to. So we're here. You're barely here because I feel like this was almost like an afterthought for you to like come by. So there was a legitimate, probably 90% chance that you would have come through Auburn and wouldn't have come by, and then we would have learned about it next week.
Yep,
it was great. And also, as old friends do, we're catching up at 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning.
Right?
Hey, let's do it. Hey, what time do you want to catch it? Yeah, let's 9 in the morning. Your place.
But it didn't even seem remotely weird to me, which is even worse. Because it's just like, I'm going to be up at like 7, so like feel free to let me know when everything works. Like, and I knew that we were like leaving, I'm probably leaving town in about an hour. So like, I'm like, all right, I got this timetable to work with. Is this going to work for you? Like 9 a.m. sound good?
I know.
I even threw out, I think I said 8 or 9 a.m. when I first said it. Because I'm like, 8 a.m. is fine too. Like, dude, I operate when I
had to work last night. I got out late, and I still committed myself to this. So
wow,
really, really worth it. But it's weird to have like a 9 a.m. hang to catch up. Like, can't really have a drink about it. I mean, I guess it could, but it'd be weird. I haven't really eaten any food yet today, but
that's the harder part. It's not drinking. Listen, people, don't be above drinking early. Like, I don't understand why you're allowed to relax at certain times of day. So I don't care about that. But it is tough when you're like, I didn't eat breakfast yet. I will enjoy this beverage. Like, I'll enjoy this alcohol. But, yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. These plans that, I kind of pride myself on fun experiences. There's a certain element of, do we have to plan it? Well, no. Why? Because if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it happens, great. So, like, I don't know. I'm like, I didn't know what kind of timetable I necessarily had to work with this morning. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in to Dave's late Thursday night, and then we'll go to the camp Friday. I didn't know any time frames beyond that. So I'm like, I didn't even tell my parents I was coming up. They literally live next door to my brother.
Oh, shit.
And
they don't know. Oh, God.
I saw them because my mom was talking to my brothers, and she found out through them that I was coming up and what the plan was. So I stopped by and saw them. But, like, I don't know. It's not that I don't want to see people. It's just,
you got tunnel vision for what the plan is.
Yeah,
basically.
And it's not that I don't want to hang out with people or anything. It's just I'm like, like, I don't know, because I also get very stressed if I overbook myself, and that the anxiety, sometimes I overbook because I'm excited, but then I realize what the overbooking makes me feel like when the time's approaching, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I end up canceling on people, and I really don't like canceling on people. So my solution to not overbook and cancel is just don't try to make things fit unless they are logical to attempt. And I don't spend durations in Auburn, just because I'm always visiting, and I'm always visiting from far away. So it's not like I swing by. I've never lived. The closest I've lived to Auburn is Buffalo, and that's over 2 hours. So. I've never dropped in and not had some kind of specific enter and exit time. So working on a finite timetable always makes it challenging to try to plan stuff if I'm not here for an extended period of time, because I'm always like, well, if I'm putting time in something, I'm removing it from something else. So there's never been free time in Auburn, really. So yeah.
Good. I won't take it personal.
Good. I'm just consider me that better than the girl at the bar. And if you're listening, girl at the bar, you know what you've done.
Do you want to play Scrolldom, but we each scroll on each other's phones and find somebody?
That's so weird.
We can just do it, you guys. You know what also I realized? Like, I know the camera isn't centered, but I also forgot to tell you, you may not realize it, the floor isn't straight in here either, or flat.
Does it curve up?
No, yeah, it curves out. Like, it was like the house is like 100 years old, so it comes back this way, like slightly into the center of the house.
It dips. Imploding.
It dips, yeah. So one of these days I'm going to go through it, but...
You're going to go through what?
The floor.
Oh.
Yeah. That's part of it.
Good.
So if I ever I got my yoga mat over there. So if I ever do yoga
do
here,
you ever
it's
like
always
roll
a little
things
off.
on the ground? Do you ever go like, I wonder if there's
Oh
enough
yeah,
force?
like if that chair,
Yeah.
I can't leave it. It's pinned up against the wall because otherwise it'll swing back. It'll just,
Sweet.
it's not enough to where you can't stand up, but here, you want to pick
Boy.
one? Oh, wait, is this? Oh, this is a guy that works at Wegmans right now. Okay. How do I do? I don't want to damage any. There's no way he listens to this. There's no way anybody. There's no way anybody listens to this.
There's no way listens to this.
Yeah,
Right now is like, what the fuck is happening?
No, he's a kid that was like at my work, and funny story. I don't know. I'm just gonna say things that are true. It does not to make fun of him or anything, but he was notorious for coming in. He would come into work all the time, but he probably would leave work early, like once every 2 weeks, maybe once a week if
How
certain
early?
stretches, like maybe an hour into a shift or something like that, or a couple
that's
hours.
early.
Yeah,
That's quite early.
and it was so funny because like a couple months ago, I was having a conversation with him, and he was like, "Oh man, I wasn't feeling good to actually call into work. I haven't called into work in like years," and I was just like, "What?
That doesn't count."
You go home all the time. I was like, just just the way it is. So I had his number because I would play Dead by Daylight with him. We tried for a little bit, but I think I guess he was living with this girl or something, and I think he has a daughter. I don't know if she did too, but like it'd be weird because we would be playing and like all of a sudden he would go silent because I think his girlfriend wasn't too stoked that he was playing video games or something like that. So it was very weird. Like all of a sudden we were playing for like 45 minutes and he wasn't talking because either she
He
wasn't
muted
happy
and
about
he's,
it.
like, arguing.
Yeah, so it's like okay. And then we never really played again. I mean, he's a good guy. He's just like, but I think he broke up with that girl and now he's like got his new place. So he's like got his own thing going. So I'm like trying. I think we've talked a few times, but I'm like, yeah, dude, do what you want to do. Get happy. Work out.
Mm-hmm.
Cut back on some drinking, like that kind of stuff, and you'll be good. But I always love that. That's the leave work early, but I haven't called in sick in like years. Like it doesn't get.
And also, listen up, folks. That's not an achievement.
Yeah.
It's fucking sad. Your job isn't that important. Your job doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Don't be a sucker. Use your time off.
I'll probably bleep out the last name so it's not obvious.
That's fine.
And so I can say I'm convinced that he's clearly hungover every time he's in work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe now we bleep it.
I think that's why.
And I'm pretty sure he killed a man.
Because he did tell me one time, like, yeah, I had to drink a bunch of beer. Because he would come in with like marks and bruises on himself sometimes.
Was he in a
Where,
fight club?
No, I think he just fell over sometimes. Or like punch walls or something like that.
I was
Maybe I'll
drinking. I think I fell. Oh, like.
I might have to bleep out the whole name now.
Yeah, you might have to bleep out this fucking section. Like, this is aggressive.
Well, listen, I'll bleep out the name, and if somebody thinks that it's them, then you know what?
I work with Beep, and I work with them at Beep, and they leave almost an hour after
If you think
every
you're the
shift.
person that leaves early too much and is hungover too much, and you get injuries on yourself from passing out and blacking out,
Dead by
maybe that's a
Daylight
you
with
problem. Maybe that's a you problem. You're a good
Wow.
kid. Good kid.
Yeah, always end it with good kid because then it's fine.
Yeah.
So.
Here.
Wow. I can't compete with that.
I wish it wasn't so recent.
Right. I wish this was something from my past and not my last week.
This Erica Geringer?
Oh, Erica Geringer, yeah. So, interesting. Erica Geringer was actually someone that I met at my gym when I first moved to New Jersey. So there was a gym that I would run by that was close to my first apartment. And I'm like, I don't know what they do in there. Like, I don't know what they do in there. I'm like, it's a gym, but it's really tiny. And I think I talked about it on here before. So it was like not a CrossFit gym, but it's
Yeah.
very structured type of gym.
The accountability gym.
Yeah, exactly. And so the time I happened to go when it would be done with my shift at 3:30 at work, I would go to the gym, and she was there a decent amount of time. So like I said, is that we would wait until like 2 or 3 people get there, and then you do the workouts for the day because it was easier to do with a couple other people. And so then she was like, "Hey, do you want to just try going and letting each other know, hey, I'm coming today or I'm not going to be in today, and we can just kind of assume that we're going to go during the week and on these days, same time." So we took each other's number to just say, "Hey, I'm not coming today, start without me," or something like that, because we would go and we gave each other kind of like a 20-minute buffer. And there was Tina, I think, was the other person too. So there's another name in that phone of someone else from the gym. So Conrad, Hudson, you guys are learning everyone from this gym. But yeah, Erica is probably, I think Erica's like 5 to 8 years older than me. We never hung out outside of the gym. I know that she is a art teacher and has a husband and a kid. But yeah, she, told a lot of people at the gym of like, she would have like art displays and stuff like that. I never went because I'm a bad person, but yeah, I mean, Erica seemed like a nice individual. Hope she's doing well. I think I'm even Facebook friends with her. So yeah, that's Erica Geringer. Not much of a story, but good kid, like you say. I can say whatever I want because I ended with a good kid.
More people that round out your life,
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. Like, I guess that's the idea too of the segment, is like how many people's phone numbers you have in your contact list that you don't even really.
There's
like,
no logical
you'll
reason for
never
her to
call
be
her
in
either,
to be in my contact
But you
list.
can't get rid of it, Why would you
How
do
many
that?
people in your contact list do you think you've actually called on the phone? I would say literally in mine, called on the phone. Me, all right, I'll even say talk to on the phone. Them calling me or me calling them, I would say less than 1%.
1%? I was going to say 10%, but I don't know.
I would say less than 1%. Easily, I would say less than 1%.
I'll have to do the math on that.
I don't know how many contacts I have in my phone.
I don't either, but
it doesn't tell you.
Well, as we learned last time, a lot of mine were wine guys, so I might have talked to them just for like business stuff.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, but you're right, not a lot.
Like, it is about texting. It is not, I'm not calling these people on the telephone.
Damn. I still see a bunch of people. I know, that's great.
And too, since we've lived in different cities and stuff, you try identifying it by the area code. You're like, all right, what point of my life did this come from? So I have like 716s out the ass. I have 856s from South Jersey. Yeah, but I can look at some of these names. You're lucky if I can have any screenshot of a list of anywhere on the list, and I guarantee no matter where I am on the list, there's one name on there that I go, I don't even know who that is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
would do a thing where I'd put like cute names for people because it was fun in the moment. Like, I'm gonna put you in as this, and now I'm like, I have no idea who this is.
I did that probably on like my flip phones, but I think since I've had a smartphone, I don't think I've saved too many cheeky names. A couple of the guys, Shane, my buddy Shane, I literally met him and knew his name was Shane, and I called him Shane O'Mac, like Shane McMahon, and he's still listed as Shane O'Mac in my phone. I have Ska Mike. But yeah, I got some nickname stuff, but definitely did it way more earlier on. Or when you're like, I'll just save the first name, it's fine.
yeah,
That's not fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna realize, drunk self, that's not fine.
What is it, Mike? No, Mike.
That'll
Definitely,
work.
I'll remember.
Yeah.
I'll remember because you're Mike with a E at the end.
Right.
Dude, I'll never forget you, Mike. No, I remember this phone
Right?
number. Honestly, I'll just remember this phone number forever. I don't even need to know your name. All right.
Well, that's gonna do it for this week. I'll be back.
I can't
I'll be
wait.
back up next week. Are we gonna now? We have the bar set at live showings.
I can't wait till this, like, going through this, and it's like it didn't work at all, the audio shit, and we're just going to have to re-record
well,
another
it's
one.
getting released. I don't give a shit. It's getting released.
Yep.
I don't care if it's just
Hey, worst
Nothing.
case this time, I will do like a prologue to the episode if it's really bad,
Okay.
just to tell people
That's fair.
that like the quality was shit.
As long as there's a like music going over it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so now folks, obviously since I made this trek solely for this purpose, and now I'm going to my family's camp because I'm in the area, now Matt has to travel to see me.
Dude, I'm still thinking WrestleMania.
We'll see.
We got
It's
it.
hard to get tickets, man. I tried.
I'm telling you, once
tried.
we get
They're
closer,
so expensive.
I
But
remember-
I'm hoping people will bail on
Yeah.
it once it gets closer.
I remember when I went to the one in Dallas, like leading up to it, there were so many tickets for resale in the last month that you could get them at face value. Still,
Right?
yeah. And I'm hoping that too.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I mean, maybe I should just make a plan. Why not just visit Philly that week, or visit Jersey that week? If we go to Mania, we do. If we don't, such is life.
Interesting.
We'll just watch it on Peacock. All right, you guys. That's
That concludes the live version
two guys
on a couch.
who just hung out for an hour
Yeah.
plus, and with the only context of doing a podcast, not going to do anything else.
Yep.
Not going to go actually hang out.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Literally leaving.
Yeah.
Next time there will be hanging. Literal
Sure.
hanging.
Sure. All right, I will play the outro.
Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen of convenience. Age of convenience. Age of convenience. Age of convenience. Age of convenience.
You know, I think the real accomplishment for us is that we're in a position in our lives where we didn't have to sit on the couch and put a pillow over our tummies. Like we were like, you know, it's one of those. You know, you feel okay about yourself. That's good level of confidence.
Right?